Hi guys, I keep trying to film this and my phone keeps saying you run out of storage. So third time's the charm, I think. Hey, hi, my name's Karis. It's spelled like Charisse, but it's Karis. Get the pronunciation right. Karis, thank you. And yeah, I just started like coming out of my shell and actually doing YouTube because I've been wanting to do it for a while. And TikTok and all the influencing stuff and just like social media, I love it. So I was like, you know what, let me film a YouTube video that's like get to know me, and I'm getting ready to go to the gym, so what perfect timing, you know what I mean? Paris, I'm 22 years old. I was born, okay, it's hard for me to talk and do my eyebrows, I don't know why. It's like the focus and precision and trying to paint like the Mona Lisa, like Picasso right now. I was born in Ghana, parents are Nigerian. I lived in Ireland for a few years, primarily like my growing years, and then I went to high school, Saskatchewan, and then moved to the States for my first year of undergrad, and then Edmonton, Alberta for the rest of my undergrad. Been an experience, finally done. We're gonna do one more big move in the fall, which I'm really excited for. And then we'll see where that takes me. Maybe I'll come back to Canada, maybe I won't, but yeah, my degree was called BARST, which is Bachelor of Arts in Recreation, Sport and Tourism with a minor in Sport Management. So like a sports recreation sort of degree. Kind of boring at first, but the more I got into my classes, I was like, okay, like I can see a direction I want to go with this, you know what I mean? And so finish that, and then we'll be starting a new program in the fall. I feel like I'll do a video about that later on because I don't want to speak too much about it. I also did ask on my Instagram story for people to ask me questions of things they want to know about me, and I got a couple responses, which is really funny, and I love it. And so I'll answer a few of those closer to the end of this video. I thought this would be a good like get to know me sort of video. I feel like I'm focusing a lot right now. But yeah, I thought this would be good, like a good snippet is to get to know me. I'm the oldest of three. I have two younger siblings, younger sister, younger brother. And they still live closer to home. I've been moved out for quite a while now, so I visit home sometimes. I am 6'2" and a half. 6'2" and a half I say because every person that I've talked to, actually every guy that says they're 6'2" has told me that I'm apparently not 6'2". So apparently I'm wrong, and I'm 6'2" and a half, 6'3" maybe. I played sports all my life. I played volleyball primarily, like I got a scholarship to play volleyball, both in the States and here in Edmonton. And so that's been my primary, but I grew up doing a bunch of sports, like I played basketball for a bit, track and field, swam, danced, figure skated. That might be it. But like as for dance, it's like a bunch of different types of dance, like ballet, tap, jazz, contemporary, hip-hop, point, like all those ones. Really enjoyed. And if not for the fact that it was like just the environment of it and the nature of like dance and figure skating, I would have kept up with one or both, if I'm being honest. But I'm happy at least I have those as like, I did that, you know what I mean? Like cool experiences. So yeah, really happy about that. What else about me? Do I have a favorite color? My favorite color always changes, but it usually sticks in like the green and blues range. Right now I'd have to say green, like a not shade, sage, like a sage green. I really like that color. I also love a royal blue, so those two colors, like sage green and royal blue, probably is like as favorite colors. Like trying to do makeup and talk about myself is low-key hard. In terms of personality, I don't know, I'm a very goofy person. Like I don't take life too seriously for so many reasons, but I'm a very goofy personality. I have kind of like a dry sense of humor, like I'm very sarcastic. I'm an introvert, extrovert, so I'm a bit of both. Like I love my alone time and like staying at home and staying in my room and just doing what makes me happy. Like I love to read, I like to look at new content, I like to edit, play Sims 4 is I love that. That's my comfort introvert activity. But I do have my people that like if I feel comfortable, my friends that I feel comfortable around, like I'm very, I don't want to say loud, but a lot more sociable. Like I'm a lot of fun to be around. or so I'm told. I have my people for that. I'm not just like overly comfortable and chatty with everyone, if that makes sense. I don't go out of my way to talk to people usually unless it's like, not that I need something from them, but if it's like a networking sort of event or situation, you know what I mean? Introvert, extrovert for the most part. What am I doing? Okay, so let me blend with a beauty blender. I am extra in the sense of if I'm going somewhere, I usually will try really hard in terms of like outfit and what I wear. Like I usually like to be the best dressed, or like, because you never know you're gonna bump into people, right? So try and like dress up or like always make sure I look presentable, but I think that's just like a good way to be, just the way I am, which is like a good way to be. So wow, I'm rat, which is actually a pretty big part of my personality. Not that I make it my whole personality, but people who are close to me know that my day plans, like if you ask me what my plan for the day is, it usually includes like going to the gym, because I go 6 days a week. I try to rest, but it doesn't happen too often. I usually go 6 days a week to the gym, so yay. From like being an athlete, it just made sense for me like when I stopped playing to dive into the gym, because I'm so used to the athlete lifestyle and like training and stuff that it's hard for me to sit still and do absolutely nothing. And so I dove into the gym pretty hardcore. I had a personal trainer for a little bit, and then once I kind of got the hang of exercises, like gym exercises, then I kind of made my own split and did what I'm comfortable with, including like functional and athlete training and stuff. So to keep my athleticism, like I still do sprints and stuff. I honestly want to do some gym content. I know everyone's doing it, but I actually want to do it because I think a lot of like, I don't want to say influencers, but creators who do gym content for retired athletes, and especially like tall retired athletes. Like I'm quite a tall one, so I think it'd be pretty cool. So stay tuned, possibly. I need to get a camera too. Oh, I forgot to set my face. Shoot, okay. But yeah, it's a pretty big part of me. I think if someone were asking me, what should someone know about you? I try not to let things, like I try not to take things to heart. And if I do take something to heart, I don't usually show it on my face, but most of the time I will deep a lot of stuff. It doesn't seem like it from the way that I act, because unless I'm very comfortable around you, I'm not a touchy person or like an affectionate person, but I'm very affectionate with those I care about. I'm a lover girl at heart, what can I say? I'm simply just a lover girl. Born to be a lover girl and forced to act nonchalant, unfortunately, in these conditions out here. I'll start answering some of the questions that I got asked, and then we'll go from there. I think they'd be really, really funny. One of the questions is, who's your top 5 celebrity crushes? This is a bad question for me because I feel like I find a lot of people attractive, but top 5, I'm gonna put my top 1 into one group, and it's like the whole Avengers cast, like all the Chris's, and then like Tom Hiddleston, like all the Avengers. Well, I guess Loki's not an Avenger, but you know what I mean, like whole Avengers cast like that. And then say, oh, this is hard. Let me go from 5. Let me go from 2. 2, say Keith Powers is on there for sure. I can't even think of some actresses' names or actors' names. I don't think they're ranked, but I'm just gonna say who they are. Avengers cast, like all of the Toms, Chris's, and all of them. Keith Powers for sure. What's his name that was in About Last Night? Is it About Last Night? Michael Ealy, like the brown skin with the light eyes. Very much. Recently, Glenn Powell. I feel like that's really basic, but Glenn Powell is kind of doing his thing. I don't know. This is a hard question. I'm not too sure. I'd say like that caliber of man. Let me think of one more. Why is this hard? Good one that I got asked is, what are my relationship deal breakers? Very good question. So they asked for friends and for boys. For friends, I'll do first. For boys, I'll do after. My friends, I would just say deal breakers, like if my friends don't have the same type of like goals or mindset as me, I find it hard to be friends with people who don't. Not that you can't, but like to be close friends, I feel like you need to share that sort of mindset and similar values in that regard. Deal breakers, if they believe like the same faith as me, because I'm a Christian, but that's not like a deal breaker. It's just something that would deter me from being as close with you as we could be, if that makes sense. I don't know if I have a lot of friendship deal breakers, like just be a supportive friend, like no secret animosity, be able to communicate, like if you have an issue, just bring it up with me, don't talk behind my back, that sort of thing. And then I would just like say communicating like friendship expectations. If you being able just to communicate in general, I feel like as we get older, at least I've found that as I get older, that I used to be more of like a high maintenance friend and now I'm more low maintenance. Just being able to communicate that like I don't need to talk to you every day, and if we don't talk every day, I don't assume that we have a problem because we're both busy. Do you know what I mean? So I think just being able to communicate that in a respectful way. So yeah, communication, if that kind of answers that question. Relationships, having the same faith, like both being equally yoked and like Christians is really important to me. Like that would be a deal breaker if you or someone that's looking to date me or court me or be with me, take me out, like you have to be a Christian as well. Otherwise I just don't see it meshing, because it just doesn't make sense, especially when it comes to big life decisions. I'm someone who takes dating like very seriously. I date to marry. Like I wouldn't date someone just for the sake of it, because I genuinely think that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. So if we're not sharing values in that regard, that just doesn't make sense. That's the number one deal breaker. Not being hardworking. I feel like I'm a work person. I'm always looking for new hobbies and goals, and I take school and work very seriously. I want someone who do the same, just has goals and ambitions for life and stuff. Traveling, someone who likes to travel and just like try new experiences, because I've been described as a free bird. Like if someone asked me what animal I would be, I'd honestly say a bird, because I'm everywhere and nowhere. Like I've had friends text me and be like, hey, what country are you in? Can you make plans this Friday? And I'm like, I'm not here. So yeah, I'd say like being adventurous and open to new experiences is a big one for sure. Good sense of humor, like has good family values, gets along with their family and my family is also really important. Someone who's kind, selfless, like just like a family man, someone who wants to be a provider, wants to be a father as well as a good husband, like both of those. You can't say you want a wife but you don't want to be a good husband, you know what I mean? Or you can't say you want kids but you don't want to be a good father. Like those things go hand in hand, in my opinion. So what do I do to make myself feel better when I'm not in a good mood? Very good question. My introvert activities. So if I'm not in a good mood, I've learned to just like ways to regulate my emotions by giving myself like a couple minutes to like an hour, maybe, just to kind of feel what I'm feeling. I will usually journal it out, and then I will most likely go to the gym, or I'll try and distract myself for a bit after journaling. Reading a book, gym is also a really good distraction, or I'll call someone that I trust just to talk about it. There aren't many people for that. Most of the time I will kind of just like sit with myself, ask myself why I feel the way I feel, and then just keep it pushing. Cry if I need to, of course. But yeah, it's mostly just sitting with myself and taking account of my feelings and just kind of studying, why do I feel this, what made me feel this, and then what to do about it, sort of thing. Another one I got is about maintenance. I think what maintenance do you get done, or what maintenance do you do yourself, and what you don't get done, like where do you get it done? Do myself is like all my skincare and makeup, obviously. Like I tweeze my own eyebrows. Maintenance, I say gym is maintenance, that I do myself, obviously. But like my hair, I always get my hair braided like every 1 to 2 months. Keaton, I love you. She always gets my hair right. All my makeup stuff, obviously, I get from like Sephora and like drugstores. But I'll do a full makeup tutorial, because that was one of the other questions. I'll do a full makeup tutorial in the next video. But I use, say, for my lashes, I don't have extensions. I'll just use like lash serums and castor oil on my lashes every night, and then coconut oil during the day till I take off my mascara. Never pluck them. Use coconut oil. And I don't know if you mean like waxing. Just go to like any sugar wax spot for, hair places. There isn't a lot I get done, honestly. Just invest in good skincare, good makeup, and good lip balm. What is my best trait? This is a good question. Not to gas myself, but I think I have a lot. The top 3 best traits of mine: humor, emotional intelligence, and just like maturity in general. So those things are like hand in hand. And then I would say just like my drive and like overall outlook on life. My pet peeves, I have a lot because a lot of people irritate me. Chew with their mouth open. Stop doing that. No one needs to see the contents. We saw it on the plate. We don't need to see you chewing it. Do you know what I mean? People who walk slowly, as a tall person, I take big steps. Unintentional. I'm not gonna walk. Like, no, that's not gonna happen. People who drive slow, no, I don't speed. My pet peeves for every scenario, what is it? People who, say in the gym, for example, don't take the weights off the machine. That's just a gym one. People who talk too much. And when I say talk too much, like when they talk so much that they're not even talking about anything, like talking for the sake of talking. I zone out. I fully zone out. I can't do that. It's just a couple. Not to make me seem like overly extra. If I could be on a reality TV dating show, which one would I be on? If you know me, you know the answer. It's Love Island. 100%. I love that show. It's so entertaining. If you haven't seen it, USA, UK, Australia, I think there's Germany too. People from all over, they go into this villa and they're just trying to find love and they do challenges. They get coupled up, people get dumped, like it's very dramatic. And if you just watch the newest season of UK or of USA, you know how dramatic it was. And I would love to go on that show. I think my personality type, just be very unserious and very sarcastic. And I think I could be a good addition to a villa just because, first of all, I think I would get along with the guys more than the girls just because some of the girls on the shows just be ridiculous, like just crying too much and everything, and I'm just not, that would not be me. Guys, like the way they're in the gym every day, like I'd be challenging them to pull up competitions and arm wrestles. I just think it'd be funny. And then the only thing that would be my advice is no naps. Not being able to take naps. The ones that I've been asked if I would go on, if I would go on Love is Blind, like just in a conversation, no, I can't do it. Do I think Love is Blind? No. I think if I had a good emotional connection with someone and then I'm seeing them in person, not that everything's about looks, but if I see you in person and you're not like my type or I don't find you attractive, like I couldn't do it. That's bad. I feel like that's most people, like I couldn't do it. Too hot to handle. I just think y'all need to go to therapy. Love Island, if you see this, sign me up. In fact, I'll submit a tape. Favorite country I visited? I grew up in Ireland, which is in Europe, obviously. I've been around a lot of Europe, and even like since leaving there, I've gone back on like school trips and stuff, and I spent my internship there last semester for 3 months in Germany. I got to travel to a lot of places, but favorite country I visited so far, Amsterdam or the Netherlands. Love that place. I would definitely live there. Maybe not in the city, but like in like a smaller city outside. The vibes of the city is really nice. People are nice. I don't know how to describe it. It's just a feeling when you're there, and I feel like a lot of people who've been there could say the same thing if I'm being honest. Soon, like the place I'm moving to, maybe that could be my favorite place. Never know. What is my dream career? Ideally, I would love to get paid to travel. No, WAG is my dream career. Yeah, one of those two dream career. But now I've kind of set my sights on, you know, attainable careers. I'm studying or going to study is law, and I'll be starting that in September, which is really exciting. Where that I will share down the line. When I say down the line, in a couple months. Craziest dating story. Okay, if I can pick just one, I have a few. I posted one on TikTok once, in case he sees this too. I have to say my most recent one, so I just hope he doesn't see this. I really hope he doesn't see this. Basically, I was talking to this guy. He's from Montreal, and we were talking. Like we met on Hinge, like matched on Hinge, exchanged numbers, we're FaceTiming for a full like month before I went there. When I get there, first of all, when we were talking on FaceTime, it was fine. Like he was super nice, super kind. He had some things that were off about him that was giving love bombing behavior, but I'm a person who gets shown red flags and I welcome them. Instances where I was like going out with friends and he would tell me like not to wear certain things or tell me to stay home and talk to him, which I was like, no. When I got there, I stayed at his place for the first 2 nights, and then I had a hotel, or for the first 2 nights, and then I had a hotel for the rest. We never texted, first of all, just to preface this, like, you're mostly called and FaceTimed. So we get there, he told me, oh, I saw your flight landed, because he was tracking it, and he was like, this is my address, like, what do you want to eat? Like, made sure their food was coming for when I got there and stuff. So I Ubered to his place, and he had asked me, obviously on FaceTime, how tall I was. He said he's about 6'2", I said 6'2", 6'2 and a half. And he sees me, like, gives me a hug, and the first thing he says is, he's like, you're not 6'2", and I was like, hi, what's up? Like, so anyways, gotten there, and his apartment is like kind of smaller, like there's like bed, kitchen, desk and stuff for him to do his school. And so when we sat in there, like I sat on this little couch, like with my knees up to my chest, and he was sitting across from me, and we like didn't speak that much. It was kind of like adjusting to seeing each other in person type thing. He said food was coming. I was like, perfect. Food came. We're just like chatting. Food came, and then I like to watch a show while I eat, so I was watching. At that point, I was watching Love Island UK when it was still good. I was watching that, and then he was like laying on the bed, but he wasn't taking interest in it. He like went on his phone. I was like, okay. And then he says he's gonna get ready for bed, so he did. And then I felt bad because I was sitting there watching my reality TV shows. Then I got ready for bed, and then I just went to bed. And it was hot. It was like 35 degrees and like humid. Okay, it was humid. Woke up in the morning, and for reference, I'm not a morning or night person. I can be both. If I'm waking up in the morning, I just don't speak that much. I'm not like grumpy or anything. I just need coffee. He apparently was not a morning person. Go and shower and stuff. He comes back and he's sitting on the side of the bed with his head in between his hands. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, are you okay? He goes, I'm just not a morning person. I was like, well, you cannot be a morning person. You don't just sit with your head in between your hands, but fair play. The day we planned to go to the beach. So he's like packing a bag for the beach and all this stuff, packed a bathing suit, I put it on underneath my dress and stuff, and we're going. And he goes, by the way, like, I rented a car, but I don't have a license. I was like, okay. And so I had to drive the car he rented. We had trouble finding the car at first, and then we did, and then it was fine. But I had to drive on Montreal highways, which I've never done, not used to. The rules are different than Sask and Alberta. And I was like, this is scary. The whole time I was there, this man was passenger seat driving, telling me not to do this, do this, do this. But then he would switch back and forth from like yelling to jamming out. Like he'll switch the song on the playlist, and all of a sudden he'll start dancing. And I was like, you're annoying me. And it was an hour drive up there and back. Getting like irritated thinking about this again. We get to the beach, it was really hot, and we sit there, just like vibing, talking, and I fell asleep because it was hot. And I was just like, love to sleep on the beach. And we started playing this card game called We're Not Really Strangers. And we had played it on the phone before I got there. And one of the questions was like, who in your life do you feel the most comfortable around? And he answered it, and he goes, honestly, right now, you. And I was like, that's weird because we've never met. I asked him the same one on the beach, and he goes, honestly, like, I don't want to answer that question. And I was like, okay. Like the behavior back and forth just switched. He was like so excited at one point, and then like it just completely switched. His room had LED lights too, keep that in mind. The jewelry he wears too is apparently from his ex-girlfriend, which he told me before but then clarified again in person, and I was like, this is weird. The vibe just completely switched, and it was like really hot and all of these things, and I was just like, I don't know, I'm not vibing with this. It started to pour, and so we left, and so I had to drive back, and he was doing the same thing where he was like, oh, I'm so tired, but he was still like telling me what to do and like how to drive and all that stuff, which I don't like, because I'm like, I already don't like driving, so if you're telling me how to drive, like, just keep that to yourself. But he wanted to get like a portable air conditioner for his apartment because it was really hot, so we go buy one, and then we go back to set it up, and he's getting mad because the instructions are not clear. To be fair, it didn't make any sense. I was trying to help him. I didn't know what. He wasn't talking about it. He wasn't communicating, like asking me to help, and then he was also hungry apparently, so he was hangry. I was just doing my own thing. I really figured it out, gave him a high five and a hug, and I was like, you know what, good job, whatever. And he was just like not in a good mood at all. And that mood kind of lasted from like that afternoon up until the evening when we were both just chilling. Like we didn't have any plans to go anywhere. He told me beforehand, I'm gonna take you here, I'm gonna take you here, like we should go to this place, we should go to this place. But his behavior went from excited over the phone before I met him to just like very exhausted and just kind of nonchalant and like not caring enough. It was just very jarring for me because I did not expect that. Like I thought it would be somewhat consistent. I get if you meet people in person, it's like it can change, but whatever. And so that changed. And he had gotten a phone call on the way to the beach from his aunt saying she didn't feel well and all of this stuff. I was like, oh, I hope she's doing well, because apparently that's the only family he has there. But later in that evening, he got a call from his aunt saying she got rushed to the emergency room for open heart surgery. And I was like, this is so random. He starts running around his apartment, packing an overnight bag, towel, all that stuff to stay in the hospital. He stands at the door and so where are you going? I was sitting on the bed, I was like, what do you mean by that? Like, I'm staying here. He's like, okay, well, I said, I can't check into my hotel until tomorrow, so, I mean, I can leave if you want me to. And he was like, no, like, I'll get my friend to come pick up my keys from you tomorrow morning. I was like, okay. I just kind of chilled, like, I went out around the city and I came back, and then he had texted me just asking if I was okay, and I asked if he was okay, and then that was it. And then the next morning I, like, went, gave my keys to his friend, and then went and checked into my hostel. The rest of my trip, like the rest of the weekend, he did not check in on me except to say, like, where are you staying? Didn't follow up, asked me who I went out with, because it was the same energy of when I was in Edmonton asking who I went out with. He told me not to flirt with anybody, like that sort of stuff, but then didn't check in on me, all that stuff. So then the day before I'm leaving, I was like, by the way, I'm going to the hotel, or I'm going to the airport at this time tomorrow. He goes, I'm not going to see you before you leave. I said, sure, okay. At the airport, I sent this man a long text saying how his behavior changed, how I didn't appreciate it, I didn't see a relationship coming out of it, and all that stuff. And then he replied saying, my behavior didn't change, my aunt is close to me. I thought he was making excuses because I thought he was lying about his aunt, if I'm being completely honest, because I've had things like that happen before. I said I basically didn't believe him, and he was like, yeah, my aunt is the closest to me, if you don't see a relationship coming out of this, fine. So I left it at that. Then I got home from the airport and I realized I don't have my house keys or my car keys, which I left in his apartment apparently, or somewhere in Montreal. I said, hey, like, can you check? I think I left my keys, blah, blah, blah. I know it's a terrible timing, but I need to check. He's like, I'm not at home right now. I was like, well, obviously, like, when you get home, can you check for me? He just liked my message. So I gave him a week, didn't respond, like, didn't text me, nothing. So I texted him at the end of the next week and I was like, hey, I don't know if you checked or not. And he goes, yeah, hi, my aunt is dead. I'm taking the body to Lebanon. He's Lebanese. I was like, oh. I said, sorry for your loss, but like when you get a chance, can you check for the keys, please? But in the meantime, I got like a spare set and all that stuff. So he said he was taking her body to the funeral in Lebanon. I said, you know what, fair enough. I just want my keys back. Like, we don't ever have to speak again. I think he blocked my number. If not, like, I just couldn't get through to him. So I go to check his Instagram. The man is on vacation. Last two posts, he's been on vacation. And I still don't know where my keys are. And if I text him again, he'll probably actually block me on Instagram and socials, so. Yay! Yeah. But that seems to be a common trend in some guys that I've seen or we're talking to, situationship type vibes. But yeah. As you can see though, I'm ready. My phone keeps kicking me out because of storage. So that's all for today, you guys. I'll give you a bit of insight into me. I hope to make a lot more videos soon. Workout, makeup routine coming next. Until now, or until you know what I mean, until next time. If you like stuff like this, I hate to be that person, but you know, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.